here's Brody Brazil.
Before I get into the deep details of this video, I want to shout out Jason Burke of SportsIllustrated.com. He covers the A's. He's been doing a lot of great work lately, including this piece, which points out that the A's might be up against a draft lottery limit in the near future because of their current revenue sharing status. They very much benefit from baseball's competitive balance tax. The higher spending teams pay out money via tax to the lower spending teams, and that benefits the A's financially, but it might cost them in an upcoming draft year. Let me explain, because the rules have changed, things are a bit different, and to understand the present, we need to go in the past a couple years. I want to talk about the 2022 season, which led into the 2023 draft. Back in 22, the A's had baseball's second worst record. They were 60-102 2 seasons ago, right? So second worst record in baseball. But this was also, 2023, the first year of the new draft lottery system that was established in the most recent collective bargaining agreement with the players and the league. And what they switched to was this lottery system that prevented teams from tanking, like losing on purpose to get a higher draft pick, right? The league did not want that. They were a bit afraid of that. Because back in the old days, with the second worst record, you automatically get the second highest pick in the draft. So in San Diego during baseball's winter meetings, I was there. Everybody was excited to see, well, maybe the A's will get a 1, 2, or 3. They had a pretty good chance at all three. I think about a 17% chance. Turns out, typical, right? The A's get the 6th overall pick. They statistically should have had the 2nd or better, but they get number 6. So not a good start for the A's in this new lottery system. And actually getting number 6, you're going to find out, also turns out to be costly, potentially, in the very near future. So let's talk about 2023. This last season, the A's go 50-112, their worst season in Oakland history. And they also have baseball's worst record. Again, back in the old days, they'd be lined up for a number 2 pick last year and a number 1 pick in this upcoming draft. Right? That's a heck of a way to benefit. That's a heck of a way to rebound your franchise. But this may not continue. In fact, it's not going to continue this year because of the lottery, but they may not even be eligible for the lottery system, which I'm about to explain. So the A's right now, set up for 2024 in that draft, they're right there with the Royals and Rockies, and because the Nationals have been disqualified from the lottery, this is all complicated. These 3 bottom teams have the identical percentage and the odds to pick first. It's about an 18.3% chance that the Royals, the Rockies, or the A's will pick first. Obviously, that sets you up to pick second pretty good, or third or fourth. But I mean, it is possible that the A's could go 5th or 6th once again. But this will likely be the final year for the A's in the draft lottery. Like, they're not eligible after this year, most likely. Now, that penalty, it seems, is only going to last for a single year, as I explain the new rules, because you can't be on revenue sharing for a long time and also cash in baseball's lottery. This is straight from MLB.com as part of explaining the new format. Teams that receive revenue sharing payouts, like the A's, cannot receive a lottery pick for more than 2 years in a row. Well, they had one from the result of 22, the draft of 23, and they're about to have one from 23 into the 24 draft. But they can't do it for more than 2 years in a row. That means that likely they'll be in the lottery draft for the 24 season into the 25 draft. They'll be eligible for it. They should be, but they won't be because they are a revenue sharing team. It goes on to say, and by the way, none of this directly affects or impacts the A's right now, and those that can't get a top 6 choice in consecutive drafts. Furthermore, a club that's ineligible for the lottery can't select higher than 10th overall. And that makes sense, right? If you're not eligible for the lottery, they don't want you getting a very good pick somewhere within the top 10. Okay, we move on here to explain this, that picks 1 through 6 are the lottery selection, right? They draw those 6 ping pong balls. I guess that's how they did it. Last year was kind of secretive for the first year. That part wasn't really broadcast or televised live. We didn't see how it happened, but picks 1 through 6 are the lottery selections. The rest of the picks go in reverse order of the regular season record. So the point here is that the A's are going to be out of that 1 through 6 spot if they remain on revenue sharing. Now, what determines that? Well, if or not they have a binding agreement on a new ballpark anywhere, Oakland or Las Vegas, by January 2024. And we also understand that that is up for a vote, conversation. That's up for a lot of things right now, whether the A's do get baseball's approval. The public funding has already been approved. It might be challenged. Keep an eye on that. But the bottom line here is that if the A's move forward with relocation, they will remain on revenue sharing, or at least that's the expectation. And so because of being on revenue sharing for yet another year in 2025, they would be ineligible for a top 6 pick. But also to be eligible for one of those spots, or to have it be highly likely, like they could very well finish bottom 6 in Major League Baseball, even in the 2024 season. I know this is confusing. This is a lot. We're looking at next year's team, and how they do will determine a 2025 draft pick. But the whole point here is that at this juncture, they're not eligible if revenue sharing continues. They have to forfeit what would be another high draft pick, because you cannot be on revenue sharing for more than 2 years in a row. And for the 3rd year, you cannot get one of those top 6 lottery picks. I mean, look, no question this is going to cost the A's in some way, shape, or form. How do you know when the next Mike Trout or Aaron Judge is coming along in baseball's draft, and you have the opportunity to be top 1, 2, or 3, but instead you're not even in the top 6 anymore, and it's because of the revenue sharing situation that is obviously supposed to help you out, but this totally costs the future of your franchise and maybe that transformational player that you would get with a top pick. For the A's, I don't know when success happens. I don't know when the big turnaround happens with their record. In terms of projections, I would have to think they'll be better in 2024 leading into a 2025 draft, but they have to be like 20 or 30 games better to not be a bottom 6 team and to likely get one of those top 6 lottery spots that they won't be getting so long as they're on revenue sharing. Okay, I know that was complicated. I know there was a lot to that video and trying to understand it, but the point is, being on revenue sharing likely going to cost the A's a very high draft pick in 2025. You made it here to the end of the video. You know I appreciate that. Thumbs up down below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so I can definitely see you back here next time.